So what's the catch between daytime and evening racing?
One question asked earlier this month: I'd like to talk about early and late races. I know people who trade only early races and don't like evening races. They say the markets are different, but how do you feel about the difference, or maybe something else?
Okay, so a great question. Obviously the author wanted to be anonymous, so I've cut their information out there. Two questions: the difference between the daytime and evening racing, and do I take a break? Second one's really easy. Generally I take a quick break, and I notice that there is a difference between the two, although it's not imperative. Now previously, going back in time, when I first started to succeed, I made sure I took a break between the two. Now not as much so, but I still try to. But the difference is, it's a very interesting question, because a couple of years ago I noticed that there was a remarkable difference between the daytime and evening cards. I spoke to many different traders about it, and I think everyone comes up with the same sort of answer. It's hard to put your finger on it exactly, but understandably there's a change in conditions, so there's a change in the market, and obviously you need to adapt your style to said situation. People often forget that, you know, we are not the main feature here, the market is, and we have to fit in around the market. So it's important to maybe think or notice there is a difference between the two, and adapt to changing your styles. If you've been trading all day, it's easy to be in that one mode and then need to adapt your style slightly for the evening. So what are the differences? Arguably the biggest difference is probably market participants, the amount of people that are in the market, the type of people that are in the market, the amount of traders that are in the market, you know, the bookmakers that will be hedging within the market, and just a general interest on the quality of racing that's on offer. Because in the evening you get a lot more all-weather racing, you get a lot more lower grade racing at poorer quality tracks. Obviously there's certain events throughout the year that don't apply to that, but as a general rule of thumb, the racing in the evening is at far weaker grade and quality than you get in the daytime. And I mean, obviously gambles and stuff evolve in both the daytime and the evening racing, but I think it's probably a pretty fair thing to say, based on the things that I know and see in the market, that evening racing is a little bit more corrupt. Or corrupt is a strong word, but obviously the all-weather racing, you'll see more gambles unfold, crazy money and sort of volatile goings on. Obviously the market's weaker, so it's more volatile anyway, but you'll see late money come a little bit harder maybe, or maybe it's not harder, maybe it's just the fact that it impacts the market that bit more. One, because the market's weaker, and two, because I think it's probably fair to say it's quite bent. You know, you get a horse that appears on the all-weather track, it's been off for a long time, you know, it's got his handicap rating right down, and all of a sudden there's absolute piles and piles of money. Obviously that's inside information, and you know, I'm not that privileged, and I'm sure that probably 99% of the people watching this aren't either, to be on the inside and the inner circle and find out when certain gambles are going to happen. But without a doubt it happens, and the market finds it hard to resist that because it's a weaker quality market. So what I'm trying to say is evening racing is generally weaker quality, it is more volatile, you see a few more gambles, and there's different interest levels as well. Obviously, like in the evening, the type of people that are betting are probably less into the racing and more into being sort of a gambler, you know, or just taking a bit of a punt and sitting at home. You've got poorer quality channels like At The Races covering it, with a lot of adverts and stuff like that. So it's understandable that the markets are different, but the important thing really, what you need to remember, is that there is a difference. Notice that difference, and then sort of tailor your plan around the market, rather than just keep doing the same thing as you was doing in the daytime racing and expecting it to work. As that saying goes, you know, doing the same thing and expecting different results is insanity, and you can't argue with that. So from the daytime to the evening, important to notice the change. The exact change is very hard. I'll be really interested to hear everyone's views on that. If you've got any strong views on why the difference is between the daytime and evening racing, feel free to whack it in the comments below. Send us a message. It's probably a bit easier if you comment, because everyone else can join in.